I do feel there are like people that want to date black women as like a fetish thing, but they don't want to bring you home to your parents.
I actually asked Nonhle's father, Stuart, do I have to pay lobola? And he was like, straightforward, she's not my biological daughter, so I can't charge you lobola.
Oh, I've had Zinubia. It was really gross. And a lot of people spat on it.
Are you sure they're spitting in it?
Yeah, it was definitely spit.
And sometimes my mom will say something like, oh, like the black lady at the shop.
My name is Nonhle Lashozi Mason Abraham.
My name is Stephen Mason Abraham. We met in 2015. We were at a music festival. It was 2 nights that you sleep over there. The one morning we came through, I was walking across with my friend, and we saw a couple of the girls that I went to school with, and Nonhle was there. So we bumped into them, we just started talking, etc. And then for the whole of the next year, Nonhle and I would see each other like out with friends or out at the club. The following year, 2016, Nonhle started selling tickets for a New Year's festival. And then she contacted me. She's like, hey, do you want to buy tickets? Anyway,
Put in his DM.
yeah, she slid into my DMs.
To make money. And then we just, I think, vibing, talking, just friends for a while.
And I asked her out on the 15th of December 2016.
Yes. We went on a very awkward date. I don't even say it was a date because we had our friends there, but our friends could feel the tension and they were like, why are we here? And then my friend took me to the bathroom. She's like, why are we here? This is very uncomfortable. Like, are you and Stephen vibing? I was like, no, why? She goes, She's like, we feel like we're third wheeling. And then we still carried on talking. It wasn't a great date, I'll be honest. And then we met again the following weekend. I was house sitting and Stephen and his friend came to the house after 21st. And Stephen and his friend were like, oh, we're just going to go get some drinks. So I was like, okay, I'll come with you guys in the car. We get back from getting drinks in front of the gate. And his friend was like, this is so uncomfortable. This is so awkward. You guys just need to make out and get on with it. So he left us, locked us outside. We made out. And then that's literally how I started dating. I think my first impression when I met him at Fitz, I was irritated because he stole my almond milk. And at the time I was vegan. And you know, you're camping. I'm not a camper. I've never met this man in my life. I wake up to these 2 random people in our campsite, drinking my milk, eating my breakfast. And then they proceeded to like throw the milk out because they're like, this is disgusting. And I was like, it's almond milk. It's because I don't eat dairy.
For me, Nonhle was a ball of energy to start off with.
Yeah, calm down a lot.
And also obviously just a stunner. I was like, whoa. And then I think just through conversation, as you get to know more about each other, you grow obviously stronger attraction.
So I was adopted at 3. It's my mom's second marriage. So she has my sister. My dad's first marriage. So technically he has no biological kids of his own. So he always makes a joke like, I'm sick and tired of all these Brians bringing their daughters in because my sister's biological dad is Brian and so is mine. Brian, he's like, I just can't deal with any more Brians in this household. He's like, I just look after their kids.
My parents were divorced from when I was 6 or 7. And then my relationship with my dad has been very intermittent up until 2016, where, and I know we started dating in 2016, but our relationship had no effect on my father and I's relationship, but had a very intimate relationship with my dad, and now no relationship at all. So I think that's a big cultural difference. That's why I think we do really well as a couple now, is because she knows how a family's supposed to look, and I strive for my family to be together. When I first met Nonhle's parents, I met her mom first because her dad was working Monday to Friday away. It was a Friday afternoon. I came to fetch her to pick up on a date, and I met her mom, Glynis. And the way Glynis greeted me was like I'd known her for like 5 years.
She's a hugger. She's a Pisces.
So it was very like exciting and very welcoming. And then after I think our first or second date, I said to Nonhle, I was like, I want to meet your dad. And she's like, well, okay. So then I met her dad, and her dad obviously entertained me. But his name is Stuart. I even said to him, Stuart, I was like, I've seen a difference here. Well, like the first 2 years or so, you like entertained me because I was here, but never like poured your energy into me. I was like, now I've seen a switch. He says, well, Steve, I can see you here to hang around for long hauls. So you're worthwhile now pouring my energy into, I'm not going to pour my energy into someone just to leave and then I'm going to start again.
Came over for a date night, and it was after work or something. I had finished a shift waitering. And I was like, oh no, I'll bring you a meal, I'll cook you a meal. And I lied. But my mom was like, oh no, just get him Afro's chicken salad and then put it in a dish and shake it about. She won't know the difference. So I listened to my mom and I went to Afro's chicken salad, put it in a dish, I shook it around, and I took it in the Tupperware so it looked like I made it. Even like, put some feta on there like I made it. And then as soon as I walked into the house, she was like, is that your salad? I was like, yeah, I made it. He goes, it smells like Afro's. I was like, yeah, I didn't make it. But I met your mom that evening. I think she was going in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she was lovely, welcoming, gave me a big hug, spoke to her for a little bit. But your mom's on the quieter side in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then obviously she started spending a lot of time with my family and us, because my family's like, oh, well, you're dating now. Like, your mom must come to our house for Christmas. Like, we must do things with us as a family. We're very much like you join us. So she also, that Christmas, came over with Stephen, met the madhouse. Yeah. It was easy meeting each other's family. Yeah.
Meeting Nonhle's biological dad was a bit more awkward than meeting Stuart. Maybe I think on that day it was just sudden as well. It wasn't like pricked or something like that.
I think maybe it was a bit awkward because he only knows Stuart as my dad.
Yeah.
And I feel the same. Also, I don't have a relationship with Brian. I have a close relationship, but we're cordial enough.
I actually asked Nonhle's father, Stuart. I said, obviously, Nonhle's a Zulu girl, etc. Do I have to pay lobola? And he was like, to be honest, it's straightforward. She's not my biological daughter, so I can't charge you lobola. It would be a setback to you guys as a relationship financially if I had to charge you lobola. I would rather you take that money and go put a deposit on a house or something, or put it into investment. So after he said no lobola, and then I asked for Nonhle's hand in marriage, and he said yes. I went and got a nice box with like wine, beer, whiskey, biltong, nuts, all of Stuart's favorite things, wrapped it up. And then I printed a label that said lobola, and I put on the front. And I walked through to the lounge. I'm like, there you go, Stuart. And he goes, you spelled lobola wrong. I'm like, a thank you would have been nice. So it's supposed to be Lobola. I spelled it Labola. La bola. He says it might sound like love, but it's lobola. But he still ate and drank everything.
Planning the wedding in terms of tradition, I think there wasn't really any in terms of Zulu tradition, because I think my mom and dad feel, we didn't raise you that way. Yes, I still had a relationship with my gran and Gogo and Lindy, but I think they also felt like I'm more close to Brian or any of my biological mom's side, so they didn't feel the need to. The kind of wedding we had is, I think, is a traditional white wedding. I'd planned this wedding since I was 10. So I
just featured.
He just had to feature there. I already knew the color schemes, everything. He just had to be there and buy me my flowers that were ridiculously expensive for flowers, but I just had to get them. Peonies. They're like beautiful pink, like light pink white flowers. For me, I didn't think it was going to be an issue being together because of our different races and upbringings. I think it would be different if I was 100% a Zulu girl. I mean, even though my name is Zulu and the background that I come from, being around a white family, I see white faces all the time. So it's just that environment. So it never felt like I couldn't date outside my race. And then growing up, I did date in my race, outside my race. I mean, you can name a race and I'll probably have dated. Well, not dated, but had a vibe. I don't want to sound like, I'm out there in the streets.
It sounds like it.
We are very mixed in our family dynamic and how I was brought up. When I was adopted, I was in like 1990 to 2000, so I was 3. So it wasn't norm, but I think because my family's attitude towards the situation, they like, can I help you? Do you know what I mean? So for me, I didn't think it would ever be an issue if I brought home a person from a different race or anything.
This whole thing of like, oh, I don't see color. Like literally, it wasn't a thing of seeing her as an African girl. It was seeing the girl I love. And only maybe if other people, okay, she's black, yes, we get that. But I don't see it like that. It's never ever a thought.
I do feel there are like people that want to date black women as like a fetish thing, but they don't want to bring you home to your parents. I haven't been exposed to that, but I hear and see that sometimes people would like, oh, I'd love to date a black girl, or you're so beautiful for a black girl. And it's like, okay, let's have a kiss, a date, but I'll not take you home. Things that I think you're so white. It's like you're very ghostly in the sun. Like if he doesn't use sunscreen, it's like
The sunscreen keeps me ghostly.
I know, but you go very red very quickly. His dancing. Yeah, very white dance moves. Rhythm, not quite there, but he's trying and he's having a good time. And he's loving it. They're off beats, but it's fun. And it's always like... like, I can't explain how the top half and the bottom half move differently. You know when you're sick and you have a cold, guys?
Oh.
And I just can't get the back of our throats. And he doesn't like the noises. And I'm just like... if you know, you know. And I'm just like... and I can't explain it to him. I'm like, how else am I supposed to get like tickled? And he's like, I was like, no. Okay, like, what do you mean? I can't explain it, but like, yeah, I know it irritates you. So, and I know at the time you're like, that is the blackest thing about you. Oh, I've had Zulu beer. It was really gross. And a lot of people spat on it. And yeah. It was Zulu beer. We were all around and we were passing along and people were spitting in the drink.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure they're spitting in it?
Yeah, it was definitely spit. It was definitely spit. It traumatized me. It was definitely spit. So it was like in a proper like Zulu beer, and then they were all around in a circle, and they were taking a sip, having a spit, having a little spit.
Boombootsie.
Yeah, it was definitely spit. I'm not. Am I seeing things? Maybe I'm seeing things.
I think you were seeing things.
Maybe it was too much of the beer. Like. Also, I've killed a chicken before. That was cool. Don't think that's Zulu, but like my gogo used to make me work on that farm. Doesn't care how old you are.
So how do we deal with public backlash? We were actually speaking about this the other day. Either I'm oblivious to it, but I don't recall or feel any sort of backlash. I mean, you get people just that look, especially like the older white folk.
We go to the same gym, but we normally just split up and do our own workouts. So I was like, cool, gave him a kiss. He went to his side, I went to my side. And mind you, I'm minding my business, just working out, earphones in. And I think this like older Indian man saw us. Then he like tried to talk to me and I was like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, oh, is that your boyfriend? And I was like, no, it's my husband. And he's like, oh, okay, very nice, very nice. He's like, you speak good English, hey? You speak very good English. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to work out. Like, I don't know you. And I'm just like, yeah. He's like, so what do you do? I'm like, this guy's not. So I have to explain to him, like, my job. I'm like, oh, I'm a project manager. And he's like, yeah, well, you'll get far with that language. And I'm like, okay. And then you went off and I just like carried on. That's like the weirdest incident. And I'm like, like that was last year probably. I think it was last year. And I'm like, that's the weirdest interaction I've ever had. Like you were watching us as we walked in. We both had earphones in, like minding our own business. But also you come to me, you don't go to Stephen and ask him this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always easier to approach me because I'm a woman and I'm black. They always seem to come to me and never go to Stephen. I think they think maybe I'm more forthcoming or because I'm a woman.
Like a softer target because you're a woman.
Because I'm a woman. I've never seen anyone like target Stephen. It also doesn't help that I'm like 147 centimeters.
Yeah, maybe if you were tall, they'd be like,
No, maybe it was like, people do question, like, not a lot, but in the beginning, people will question if those are my kids because they are very light, very fair. But I mean, my oldest one looks just like me. Like, besides the skin tone, like smile, face, petiteness, everything is just like me. So I find it very weird when I'm with my child pushing the pram and people are like, oh, you're so beautiful. Is that your child? I'm like, why would I be pushing someone else's child?
You could be an au pair.
Not at this right age. Not this. Like,
and sometimes my mom will say something like, oh, like the black lady at the shop. And I will correct her if like Biden's there. I'll be like, just say the lady. You don't have to point out a person's color. Just say the lady. Things like that irritates me. But you won't say, oh, the white guy.
no, don't
You
say
say
what
the guy.
So it's just like, don't say that. Just
Yeah.
the person, the man, or whatever, whoever it is. But you would only point out the race if it's not a white person.
I think for now, actively teaching our children hasn't occurred, but I think it's the minor things around him that's we just instill.
I think it's just the way we treat other people as well,
Yeah.
no matter what the race.
Correct.
So last year we moved him out of a school for various reasons. But one of the reasons I wanted to move him out was it's a lovely school, very white. There weren't any, besides him, mixed kids, maybe one other Indian, maybe 2 black kids. And I know they're still small, still little, but I'd like him, there were other reasons, but I'd like him to be in a school that looks like South Africa. So when we did go looking for schools, the one that was closest to our house, cheaper, great. And the teachers were all women of color. The principal was also a woman, which I liked, but she was a white woman, but she was on the property all the time, very involved. And all the kids, I mean, now I don't know if they have white kids, but that's no more. I've seen maybe 1 or 2, but there is a lot of black kids, there's a lot of Indian kids, there's a lot of mixed kids, which is nice to see. When we go to like sports days and stuff, he sees a lot of people that look like us in his environment. There's couples that are mixed race or black and Indian. So I like to have that around him just so he's not, because I understand how I grew up because my family was white, but I don't think he necessarily needs to have that, just have white faces around him. The one day he came home from school and we were doing renovations around the house. And he knows Nelson because Nelson helps us out a lot. And then Nelson had 2 of the other guys helping out. And he's like, oh, who's that black man? And I said, what do you mean, who's that black man? He goes, I was like, where did you learn to say that? He goes, oh, at school. I was like, no. I was like, who's that man? I was like, you know him? He goes, yeah, that's Nelson. I was like, well, then why don't you ask Nelson what his friend's name is? And then he asks. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Hi, how are you? But like, he's only 3, so I can understand. But it's like small little things like that.
If you're too concerned about what other people are thinking about you, I think you got bigger things to worry about. If you find comfort and joy and happiness in your partner or in your relationship, then that should be enough.
You just have to decide whether your family's enough or
if your partner's enough.
If your partner's enough. And it's a tough decision to make. But, you have to weigh it out. Maybe your partner, God, your friends, that you make, is that enough? Is that community enough? Or do you still want your family's involvement when you have kids, grandkids? Is that going to be a sacrifice you're willing to make? It is a sacrifice to not have your family with you and supporting you. So you have to think about those things. If it's individuals that you don't know and you're walking around the shops and stuff like that, I think just be strong. Like those people, you see them once, you never see them again. At the end of the day, those people just lonely people, don't have anything going on for them. But if it's your family, that makes a big difference, and it's a life-changing decision if they are seriously racist people.